Now, Namibia has been ranked as the first in Africa and second in the world in the 2025 Greenfield Foreign Direct Investment Performance Index. Now, the country climbed 10 places from last year, attracting nearly 8 times more foreign direct investment projects than expected for its economic size. Now, joining us in the studio is NIPDB's Executive for Competitiveness and Branding, Margareth Gustavo. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Good evening. Thank you so much.
Now, Ms. Gustavo, first of all, briefly, just in layman's language or layman's terms, what is the Greenfield Foreign Direct Investment Performance Index?
So it basically looks at, if you look at what is investment, investment is really when a company or a person or a government brings their capital into your country and sets up a business, which to a certain extent they can also run. So they bring in, sometimes they bring in skills or whatever, but predominantly capital. So this one is really measuring greenfields it's new. I take my capital from wherever I'm coming from, whichever country I'm coming from, and I put it in your country, and it's a new establishment. And most of the time, it's really building it from scratch. So it's construction, etc. So that's what a greenfield is. And that index is really looking at how much of that have you gotten into your country in terms of cash deployed into your country, and then how many of those FDIs have they actually put into your how much of that investment has actually come into your country.
All right. Now, the report attributed Namibia's ranking to offshore oil discoveries in the Orange Basin. Now, this is just a discovery. Is that powerful to really move the rankings, especially when it's just at the discovery feasibility stage?
Yes, I think what basically is happening, everybody is the Totals and the Gulfs and the Shells are exploring. So they're really at that exploration phase, appraisal phase, and they're looking at how well, what kind of oil potential do we have in Namibia. And what that really pushes is that all the service providers around that start investing in the country as well, because it's showing potential that Namibia could, at least in the next 10 years, start producing oil. So you've got the big companies, the service providers to these companies also investing. So it's not just one, it's not just the explorers or the exploring companies, but it's really the service providers around them as well. So there's a whole lot. So it's also creating an opportunity for Namibians, which really filters into the local content. And the Namibians are able to provide those services. So the money is not just, we're putting in how many billions into exploring, but there is also money that's coming into the companies that are providing, like services to the big companies.
Now, Namibia is a small country, if you look at it in terms of population size and also the economy, especially comparing it to South Africa, for example. But it's still topped the list. Where did Namibia really hit the nail on the head with this?
I think when we look at 2021, when we had I think it was 2019, when we had the economic summit, it was called the Economic Summit, if I remember it correctly. And we started putting things in place to turn this thing around. So you're looking at an investment promotion agency that is really active to ensure that you remove constraints in the industry, in the market, to allow for investments to actually land in the country. You've got this collective effort with all the government agencies working together. So how quickly can I register my business? How quickly can I set up, in terms of skills, in terms of Home Affairs, providing certain opportunities for external skills to come into the country to train the Namibians in order for us to diversify the economy and grow the economy. So you're diversifying what it is that we're offering. You know that in the past we were really just in our primary sector, and that is really mining and extraction. So we're extracting just our raw materials and then exporting them. But now government was saying, look, let's diversify our economy. And now we've seen more investments into renewables. We've seen investments into manufacturing. We've seen that the economy is diversifying, and that's really why it is working. So you're removing a lot of the issues that kept it from actually booming to where it is now.
Now, lastly and also briefly, what does the future hold for NIPDB, especially when it comes to attracting more investment?
I think it's really, if you're looking at the future, it's again continuously making sure that Namibia is competitive. And what does competitiveness mean? Competitiveness means, like, one, you must make it easy for me to set up my company in your country. You must make it easy for me to do business in your country. And then that cost of doing business is also critical. So how much does it cost? I mean, what's the process for me to start business in your country? And how much does that process cost me? So those little things, we need to make sure it's seamless. So if, say, for instance, a neighboring country offers you to register your business in 2 hours, and we are still at 6 days. I mean, if all things being equal, it's a no-brainer. They might just go to your neighboring country and set up their business there. And we need all this employment that we need in our country to really create opportunities for Namibians. So we need to make sure that we remove all those constraints. We need to make sure that we keep up with our political stability, our ability to really deliver on the promises that we've made to investments to come into the country, and create an investment climate that is actually conducive and attractive for investors to come.
All right. Well, Ms. Gustavo, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for sharing this wonderful news.
No, it is wonderful indeed. Thank you.
Yes, well, there you have it. That is Ms. Margareth Gustavo. She is NIPDB's Executive for Competitiveness and Branding, just sharing with us the latest results of the Greenfield Foreign Direct Investment Performance Index, where Namibia has been ranked as first in Africa and second in the world.